What's going on in Canada right now? Why is it so expensive to live there? It seems that in Canada, the pathway to homelessness becomes easier by the day. How is it that in one of the highest ranked places to live, homelessness is a real fear for the average person? Housing affordability has become a major issue in Canada ever since the pandemic. In Canada, there's also high rates of unemployment and fewer job vacancies than ever before. And let's not forget the surge in inflation and the higher costs for necessities. With this pressure on Canadians over the last few years, it's become more difficult to live comfortably. According to Statistics Canada, in 2022, 44% of Canadians were very concerned with their household's ability to afford housing or rent. Today, that number has risen. Rent or mortgage payments are now a concern for over 54% of Canadians. Yes, you heard it right. More than half of Canadians are worried about affording a place to live, and they are faced with difficult decisions about what else can they afford. Decisions between a comfortable place to live, bills, and groceries. And this only seems to be getting worse. It is predicted that food prices are likely to increase by 3 to 5% in 2025. Some studies show that climate change is one of the leading causes in the rise of food prices. This is because extreme weather makes growing crops and raising livestock even more challenging for farmers. But there are many other controllable factors that may impact the price of food. For instance, growing food requires energy. Farmers use equipment that run on diesel fuel or gasoline when they plant and harvest crops. Agricultural products also need to travel to food processing facilities and grocery stores. Trucks, trains, ships, and planes that transport these products all require fuel. So when energy prices go up, so do food prices. That makes it more expensive to take food from the fields to get it into the grocery stores. Canada imports a lot of food, especially during the winter when much less is produced domestically. When the Canadian dollar is lower against the US dollar, it takes more Canadian dollars to buy food from American farmers. Increased labor costs also contributes to higher costs for food producers and grocers. Who pays for all these costs? Often the consumers through price increases. Factor in grocery chain greed, now you have extremely high prices for food. One of the main issues in Canada is the grocery store industry is concentrated in the hands of a few large companies. Some say that these companies are taking advantage of high inflationary times to earn excessive profits. This is known as greedflation, but the cost of food is only one factor that has led to unaffordable living in Canada. These financial issues can greatly impact people's mental health. More than 35% of Canadians have said that most days are stressful due to financial issues. Long-term financial related stress can also be damaging to one's health, and this seems to be the common experience for those living in Canada. The World's Happiness Report shows Canada is in the 15th place. This ranking is down 2 spots from last year, and it's a little too late for this.
Bad actors like fake colleges and big chain corporations have been exploiting our immigration system for their own interests. So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years. Today, I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn.
For most Canadians, this video seems like an insult. Trudeau blames a lot of the issues on labor shortages, and he justifies the increasing in immigration as a solution to fill the labor gap. But while there are many jobs in Canada, most do not pay enough to survive. Compare the current situation to 20 years ago. In 2004, the minimum wage in Canada was $7 an hour, and the average price of a home was around $227,000. In order to save for a down payment of 20%, it would take around 16 years. Compared to today, where the minimum wage is around $17 an hour, and a decent home costs around $750,000. Based on this, it would take someone around 46 years to save a 20% down payment on a house. So if you started working for minimum wage at 18 years old, you would not be able to own a home until you're 64 years old. And that is if you saved almost all of your earnings during that time. Even if someone in Canada earns double that, it would mean scraping and saving for half their lifetime in order to afford to purchase a home. You would have to earn between $75,000 and $100,000 a year to live semi-comfortably in Canada today. This is because the cost of a home in Canada has increased almost 230%. Which exceeds both wage growth and inflation. These numbers are worse in even more densely populated cities like Toronto, for instance. Owning a home seems like a given for people before. But now, especially in Canada, owning a home has become unrealistic. This means that more people are renting. And since there are more people in Canada due to immigration, there aren't enough places to rent. So the growing demand and little supply has resulted in higher rent prices. And since most Canadians can't afford this, they often get pushed out of densely populated cities. While housing is built quickly in densely populated areas, they often get built cheaply and are still unaffordable. So many people use credit cards and loans to supplement their paychecks, which also digs them into deeper debt. And those who cannot afford to do this long term end up facing the threat of homelessness. While it's difficult to study homelessness, it's estimated that there are approximately 235,000 homeless people across Canada. But that number is likely to triple or more when emergency room healthcare data and different types of homelessness are considered. Oftentimes, this data can miss hidden homelessness, or people who are couch surfing or in other precarious living situations, or people bouncing between homeless shelter systems in different cities. So it seems that becoming homeless is a real possibility for many Canadians. Canadians have free healthcare, but is that enough to justify living in a place where fighting homelessness is a norm? If Canada continues on this path, it could have a devastating effect, with countless of people having no place to call home. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the situation in Canada unfolds. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel. And if you're already subscribed, I appreciate the support. And until next time, thanks for watching.